So guys, I thought we would make a barbecue together. It's Father's Day. What better day to make a barbecue? So I'll just share a couple of things because I did get a request in terms of they wanted to see an updated barbecue video. So we'll make one on the Kamado Joe. It should be great, okay? So let's have fun together. So I'll show you a couple of things for myself. This is how I do it. Basically, have all your ingredients together. I thought I did, but here's what we got. I got the steak. So the first thing you want to do with the steak is, this is a big steak. I think it's about 2.5 pounds. So, and this is just a regular steak. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to salt the meat. You don't want to pepper it. You only put on pepper after you've finished cooking it, because if you cook it, the pepper will become bitter. So you don't want to do that. So just put salt on first. Then I spray it with oil so it won't stick. The oil will also help it, the salt stick to it. Let's do the other side. Same deal. It's a lot of salt, but I think some of it comes off. Spray it with oil. Okay, now what I find with the steak is this takes a lot longer to cook, the thick part, than the bone, and I don't want the bone burnt, so I cover it with tin foil and only take it off in the middle. Sausages I spray. They're still frozen, but whatever. We'll figure it out. Okay, so leave this, and the salt is going to kind of cook it. So that's a good thing. It'll start to break it down a little bit. I think it pulls some of the liquids out. So let's get a little tin foil. So let's wrap this up. We'll take that off in the middle of the cook. Let's move this out. Okay, now we have wings, and I want to show you how I get the wings. I get them cut where this is just the bone part, and this is some hairs on there. This is just the wing part. Your butcher will cut it for you, can cut it, and the reason is because this part has a lot of fat and is going to cook differently than this part, which is thicker and takes a longer time. So by separating it, you can get just that right cook without burning it. You know, if you have it connected, part of it's going to burn. You know, it's like having a first and second cut brisket, smoking it together. It's difficult. So if you can separate it here, it makes a lot of sense. So throw that in a Ziploc. Throw this in the garbage. Now, I use for this either sriracha or some kind of chili sauce, whatever you prefer. I actually like the chili sauce better. But the sriracha is excellent. I don't have enough. Okay, so once you get the sriracha on, mix it up. Coat it well. If you need more, you need more. It's fine. Good. Next, you always seem to need more. Okay, next, I add cornstarch. Why? Because the cornstarch is like a binder. It's going to absorb the liquid and get it to stick to the wings. It also kind of gives it like a little crunch, I find. But it does help bind the liquid to the wings. Put that away. Okay. Now, mix it up. It takes about a minute. Okay, now, get some honey. Any honey will do. Kirkland honey is great. You don't need great quality honey. You're cooking with it. Put some in. Just enough to coat it. Okay, now, let's see if that's enough. I think so. Close up the Ziplocs. Okay, so now the question is, how long do you marinate it and what do you do? Well, first you just go like this, mixes it up great. Now, if you like it hot, as I prefer, well, this kind of settled, there's more here. A drop left. So if you like it hot, you let it sit for like 4 or 5 hours in the fridge. If you don't like it hot and you just want it mild, let it sit for about an hour. I like to leave it in the fridge because I find the inside cooks slower. So you get a nicer crisp on the outside without overdoing the inside. Let's put this away. I'm sorry, I'm a little obsessive compulsive. I like to just put stuff away. Okay, so you have to really plan this in advance a little bit because the problem is if you're going to the beach or you're away for the day, it makes it difficult. But this will be good. We're just going to leave this. Let's go outside and we'll get the fire going and I'll show you how that is. All right, so let's go to the Kamado Joe. First thing is, you open it up, take this out, and I just want to show you what I do in terms of making the fire. So we have some charcoal. I know it's a lot of wood. I like a lot of wood. This is just a beautiful piece of cherry. God make anything more beautiful than this? I don't think so. It's just beautiful. Put that in the bottom. Then I throw in a bunch of hickory. No, that's not hickory, that's oak. This is all oak. When you split the firewood, all those little pieces that kind of like fly around, that's what you want to save for this. And then I kind of cover it with this charcoal. Okay, cover it with charcoal, and my theory is that the burning of the charcoal, which is hotter, kind of burns off the gases of the wood. As it burns, it kind of like cleans it. That's my theory. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. So we'll add a little more charcoal. Okay, so you don't want to fill it all the way up. That's not good. Then the theory is this. You're going to light the fire under the wood. See that? I hope you can see it. Basically, you want to light the charcoal underneath the wood so the wood burns first. Because the wood is like sugar. That's how I think of it. It's kind of like sugar. It releases the calories of the heat very quickly. And the charcoal doesn't. The charcoal burns slower. Okay? So let's do that. We got our Benzomatic. I love this thing. We want to light the charcoal under the wood. What I've done is, I'm going to open up the vents on the bottom and the top so that the fire gets going. You're going to get that flue effect. Light it like underneath the wood, so the wood's gonna catch on and burn. See? This piece of wood, so right there, so that underneath it will catch on. You don't need any fancy torch. This is perfect. You know, like people buy these specific for this purpose, all kinds of gadgets. This works well. I mean, if you turn it upside down, it may go out. I haven't really found that thing because you get used to running it. It's all fun and games. Okay. That's good. Now, let's close that up. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to open the bottom all the way. Now, in terms of what we use for grilling, what I like to use is, I got this thing. It's a heavier grate. And you want to put this on right away so it kind of self-cleans. Wrong way. That thing's heavy. Now you can clean it, but we're going to wait till it gets hot to clean it. So now we're just going to let it burn for a while. Okay. And right now there's not much to do other than wait until you get it up to like 500 degrees. That's how I like it. Kamado Joe is great. I've had it for a couple of years. If you look up my videos, you'll know better than me when I got it. But it works really well. This thing is, the cart has been great. One side broke off, but I don't consider that to be a big deal. These are really useful. And it's smoking already. Nothing like cooking with charcoal and wood. So some people are going to say, I cook with too much wood, it's terrible, it's this, it's that. I'm actually going to burn off a lot of it and then just use the coals. So I'm happy with it. Gotta have fun. All right, so a quick view of it is it's only been running for about 10 minutes, so I guess what do you expect to see? But this is how much smoke is going to come off. And the point is, whenever you're making a fire, you don't want to put the food on right away, whether you're smoking a brisket or barbecuing. And the reason is it burns off all this like bad tasting flavor and smoke. Smoke that comes out at first is just like bitter. And you want to get that out of the way. So you're kind of burning it off, and what that's doing is it's getting the charcoal lit, and it's getting all the wood kind of really burning. And that's why, if you can, you want to put in enough charcoal to make the cook, but not where you don't have enough, and you don't want to underdo it. Where you don't have enough, then you have to add charcoal in the middle, because if you add charcoal in the middle, you again are going to start to get some, not as much, but some of that bitter smoke. Okay, so just to show you, and you can almost taste it when I open it. You see that? Now it looks glorious, and it is, but that's bitter, and you don't want that on your food. And when it gets hot, we'll start to scrape it down and whatnot. But you can see that you're starting to get some white. I don't know if you can see. I can see. See how it's a little white? So that's good. And opening it up actually accelerates it. You could use a fan under there. I mean, you could do whatever you prefer. I mean, you can see it's starting to, just by blowing it a little bit, it ignited. See the fire? Good. Let's keep it there. Okay. Perfect. Every so often you take out the ash. This is the ashtray from the bottom. Good. This you could use for like fertilizer for grass. Some of the big pieces just fell in. You could put it back in. You know, you could open it up. You need this thing that comes with it. You open it up. All the big pieces that just are unburnt, but just fell in, you can throw it back in. You'll burn it. And all the dust, that you could use as fertilizer, like for plants and other things. I think it keeps the bugs away also because it's kind of like toxic out. Yeah. Be smart, don't be like me. Do this when it's cold. All right, we'll let it go. Another half an hour, 40 minutes. It'll be good. All right, another 10 minutes. It's about, I don't know, 175. Okay, you're starting to see a nice glowing red. See that? It's in one place. It hasn't caught up evenly in all places, and that's normal, or else you really can't see everything, because I mean, I can see better underneath there. Let's see. It's pretty good. Just this area less so, but it'll catch on. Alright, so now it's at about 300 and it's smoking like a bandit. See? Now it's on fire, which is fine. It's going to burn out. So what you do is you take this tool, you can fit it through, and just tamp down as it burns. You compact it a little bit. But this is how I do it, because you really need to burn some of it. You can't put the food on with the fire like this, or else it's just going to burn. So it's getting itself up to the operating temperature. So now let's start to do a clean. Looks clean. So I'm just going to start with putting some whole potatoes on. Partially because my oven's broken, but that's another story. Now this side's burning on the left, which is good because you want it to be kind of like white, because there's too much energy being released right now to cook on. I'm going to burn the food. You want the wood to burn down a little bit, the charcoal to catch on, and that side's pretty good. This side is ready, so I'm cooking more on this side because it's closer. Put that further away because it doesn't really matter. Alright, so it says about 300 now. I'll let it go. So we're at about 400 degrees, and I'll show you how smoky it is. Not so terrible. We're gonna spray it with oil. I'm going to cook on the back part, even though it's more difficult because the fire has burnt that out first. So, and I'm going to start with the wings, and not the fatty part of the wing. This one, like the joint part. And you're going to hold the bag and then let the liquid stay at the bottom and the wings kind of fall out. Ow. And you're going to try to hold some of the liquid in here for basting, kind of. So all this goes on one side here. Put that together. Then I'm going to shut the air intake at the, I didn't say shut it, but mostly close it. And then I'm going to put the other part of the wing on, the wings over here. Okay. Just gonna spread that out a little bit. You want to put the potatoes over here. It needs more. We don't have that much time, so. You don't want to waste anything because food is so expensive. Honestly, it makes me sick. I used to have parties. I used to make briskets and smoke it for friends and whatnot. Like once a year, I'd smoke like a, I don't know, 15, 20 pound brisket. Smoke it, have everyone over. But it's just become so expensive. I mean, it's like you need a mortgage to get a brisket. But we do our best. Okay, so I got the wings on. I have the potatoes on. I could probably put the steak on soon also. But let's get the wings going a little bit. Okay, what I do also is in the middle while it's cooking, I take the leftover liquid and I kind of drizzle it on top. Just because it's so good. You could see it's like honey glazed and it's smoke is starting to like just bathe it in smoke and goodness. And the fire kind of died down a little bit. It's spread out over a bigger area, but it's not burning so hot that it's going to burn everything. You see? It's not nearly done on one side. You get the temperature up. It's about 300. But it's going to, at this temperature, it's going to roast slowly. It's going to absorb a lot of smoke. The sriracha is getting in there with the honey. It's perfect. So we did have a request for the steak. So while that's cooking, I've already sprayed oil on the steak. So I don't really have to spray oil on here, and it kind of burns off anyway. But I'll put a steak. I always put the bone towards the hot part. You hear that? Sizzling. So you want to check things, and a couple of things I do is, first of all, like with meat, I try to only flip it once. So I cook it on one side, I flip it, I cook it on the other side, then I take it off. And the difficulty is you just have to figure out how much to cook it on each side, so you're only flipping it once and it's done to your liking. And for that, you're going to use a thermopen or instant thermometer. Which is very helpful. So when you can get that down, you know you're cooking really well. Because if you flip it more than that, the more you flip it, it just dries out and it's not good, trust me. The other thing is, I've used on this cook oak and cherry. Oak is my go-to wood. Cherry, a gardener gave me a cherry tree and I cut it up, and I was splitting it for the I was splitting it for this, and I split it, just kept splitting it into pieces that are easy to use and just to throw in here. I also use apple, which is great with chicken, and you could use apple here. I just didn't do it today because chicken is great. It's not really needed with steak because it's just, you don't need that sweetness as much. So that's really up to you. So let's see where we are. Open this up. You can see the just to show you. See the steak? I'm going to rotate it. You need good tools. This is not a good tool. I'm going to have to go in and get something better. And then we'll flip the wings. But it's not really, it needs a little more. But not these. See these? This part cooks faster. I'm just going to have to get a better tool and we'll do that. Alright, you need good tools. That's the trick to life. You're working on your car, you need the right tools. Okay, so you get this, and if you see something cooking faster, you put it away from the fire. Turn it. And after a while, you don't even need a thermoform. You just look at what's happening and your brain will figure it out. Just don't burn that chicken, it's so good. And it's so expensive. Don't destroy your food. This has to be turned over. This could be moved away. These could kind of turn. And drizzle on this. It's just goodness. Even though it's raw, it's fine because you're going to cook it out. Oh, it's hot. Okay, let's close that up. All right, let's check this out. So, see, we'll give a quick look at. These are about ready. With the chicken, you have to rotate it just to cook around. That's fine. But with the steak, try to only flip it once. And maybe you want to move things around. If like it's not cooking so quickly here in this corner, you could move things around. This looks good. Okay, so let's check the steak. Well, almost barbecued the phone. See, I'll give you a closer look. See, isn't much direct fire on over the chicken, which is good because with the honey, it's likely to burn. And the steak we'll have to check. And please don't judge us. We do like it medium well. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So this side is fine. So it's going to be just like a minute on the other side, and I'll take it off. All right, let's check it out again. It's about 400 degrees. You see, not so much smoke. We're going to take off the steak. This is probably at about 150 or so. Don't judge me, just how the person likes it. We're here to make people happy. And then we'll check the wings. Okay, and here's where we are with the wings. This is done. I would say this part's done. So you want to start taking them off. See, these are already cooked. I think that's ready. Some of these are ready. They cook differently because these have a lot of fat in them. Oh, it's hot. And you don't want to overcook it. Listen, you could always throw something in the oven, but you can't uncook something. And it kind of like puffs up when it's ready. It's like, you see this? Like that? Can you see that? It's like puffed up. See, like it bubbles. Like the skin a little more, so I'll put it like closer to the fire for a second, just to get that. This is done. Alright, so while that's cooking for a minute, I'll swing around here. And let's see what we got. So, grab a wing. See that? That's so good. Oh. Okay. So it's cooked. It should be juicy inside. That like that. If you look inside, it should be glistening. It's sweet from the honey. You get the sweetness. And you say, oh, this is like candy almost. Not sweet like candy, but just like a light sweetness. And then you say, oh, and then, oh my gosh, the sriracha hits you. And the smoke. You just taste it, and it's like, burns you. It's good. That is delicious. Now, this is just for testing purposes. Making sure it's all good. Oh my gosh. All right. See? We're happy. That is, oh my God, spicy and good. Let's go back to the barbecue, see what's going on. Okay. Probably the rest is done. It's done. Take it off. This is a little overdone. At least it's only a couple of them, but a little bit. I think it's still in the good zone, but that's burnt. So keep an eye on it. This looks good. I'll take it. Okay, now what we're going to do is put the rest of the food on. We'll move this over. Put the steak on. And since it's hotter over there, I put the bone facing that direction. Then put the burger here. Oops. I know, I think it's a little frozen, but sausage. And this pepper crusted beef, which really, this is the way it came, but I wouldn't put pepper on before I cooked it, but it is what it is. Okay, we'll wash our hands. So you want to check things while you're eating chicken wings, of course. Just turn it. Oh, it's good. See, the fire is not good, but the sausage gives up so much fat. Let's close it up and shut off the air intake. And that'll kill the fire. That's what you do if you have a problem. Close the top, close the bottom, for like 10 seconds. Open it up halfway. Open up the bottom halfway. And it's no longer on fire. So then you got to check it again. You got to keep an eye on this because the meat is going to get away from you, especially the small pieces in the burger. Because the heat from the sausage is heating up the whole barbecue. So you turn over the burgers and this nice piece of meat with this cross-hatched thing. And that's where we are, see? It's very difficult. It's gonna, this is fine, but that is the sausage. So we're gonna close it up again. Close the top. Close the bottom. That cuts off the oxygen, kills the fire. And then open it up halfway. A little more, and just open this a little bit. Okay, and don't feel badly if you have to use the Thermapen, okay? There's nothing wrong with it. It's a little broke. Mine's broken. Get one that works. 30 and 37. Okay. This is done. About 137. That's what he wants. Let that cool for a couple minutes. Let's see what the sausage is. About 156. I forgot when you take sausage out of, but I think a little more. But it's also about ready. Yeah, just this part's a little less done. Okay. Yeah, this meat, it's a little raw, this one. So. Okay. Now the burgers, a little more, but not much. The steak you want to move around, just like rotate it so you get that nice crosshatch. But And the potatoes, who knows? Honestly, I don't know. They're getting soft. We'll flip them. Maybe we'll move it around so things cook equally. Keep that wrapped up. It's a process. All right, let's take the sausages off because those have to be done. And indeed, they look done. I'll just check it. Yeah, that's done. Wait, no. It's not done yet. See, the problem is they're attached. This one's done. This one's not. This one's probably not. Let me check out this one. Also, this needs another 2 minutes. I don't know. Burgers need 2 minutes. Steak's coming along nicely. We'll come back. We'll also raise the temperature a little bit, opening the top and bottom. All right, we'll check it out again. You got a roll, you got a toaster roll here. Now I think it's definitely done. Yeah. I think because it was frozen. Don't cook frozen food. Just toast the roll. The burgers should be done. I think they are. You shouldn't have flipped them. Yeah, those are done. So the only person who has no food is me, because my steak's not ready. No, it's not. The potatoes are not done, so we'll uncover them. You got the roll. Get a sausage. In this casing, it's kind of falling off, but okay. That's really good. Spicy, a snap. When you're the cook, you got to eat this way, while everyone else eats really nicely. All that's left is the steak. So we'll check it out again. I'm still enjoying the sausage. Got some nice onions on there, sauteed inside. Nothing like onions, so good. Let's see what's going on here. Potatoes. cooking. Steak. Okay. See this? Yeah, it's too hot. Two and a half pounds. Just looking at that. So nice. Don't touch it. So we'll just keep checking it. It's about ready. Two minutes. Okay, it's ready to come off. Close it up. Now you pepper it. Because you never want to cook the pepper. That was good. This is the way I like it. If you like it less, make it less. But to all the fathers, happy Father's Day.